Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Clown Underground on YouTube, and the reason for my video is today I want to talk to you guys. I'm just be trying to work here to try to put in a new mirror. Not really a new mirror, but it's the old mirror for my car that's fell off. I'm trying to re-glue it back together again, as far as re-gluing it back onto the to the windshield, and just trying to get this old glue off here. I try to get it off there so I can actually re-glue the mirror the right way. And because I was trying to re-glue it with a different kind of glue, I used PVC, CPVC type glue, and that doesn't work well with gluing stuff to glass. You can only use that stuff to really glue plastic or any kind of polyurethane or something of that nature back together. That's what it works good for. Like I said, plastic or PVC or any kind of other plastic pipe of some sort, or maybe nylon together. I don't know about that. Definitely does not glue well with glass. I'm trying to get that off there so it can attach the mirror as good as it's going to get for what I'm working with. I'm using super glue this time instead of that. But long story short, to make this video go along a lot faster, not sure how long I can make this video before it's way too long, and I may have to put another part 2 or even a part 3 to this video. The important thing I'm talking about here has been on my mind for quite some time is since the George Floyd incident that happened up there in Minneapolis, I believe. And you know, don't criticize me for if I don't have the right answers or the right information. I just been super busy with everything, so I don't really know what all happened up there, every detail of the situation. What I did do is I did do some research on the George Floyd incident and what was going on during that time when I was super busy. I was on the road all the time, and so I didn't have time to really watch the news or any even get onto Facebook Live and watch any kind of live videos, what people were saying, or even get on there and check out some news clips or anything that might have been on posted onto YouTube about it. But I did recently watch some videos to try to either get a better perspective of it. I watched the 3 different videos. I believe it was the four videos that were actually live as the event was going on. I watched the cell phone footage, bits and pieces of it that was made, and I was also watching the CCT camera footage that is basically it is non-audio footage. It's just video of the place that was the business or something that was right beside where the incident took place. And I got a good understanding of like what was going on, what was ticking off all these people to make them so upset that they had to go around the city and just terrorize and tear the city up, and just really just make a nasty ordeal out of it, which it should never have been the way it was in the first place. But we can't change history about it. The video shows that that it was a routine thing that they did take him out of the car, and the procedure that led up to them putting him in cuffs seemed pretty reasonable. What turned out to be really, really bad is the stuff that you see on TV, where it goes from just him being in handcuffs. Okay, so once the guy is in handcuffs, he, the police should have just, stayed calm during the situation, and did their normal procedure of investigating by asking questions. What my problem of the incident is, once they had him in cuffs, he was, restrained. Okay? Now, dealing with the police before, anytime I've ever dealt with the police before, and it's been many different times in the past, I mean, all the way back to my juvenile days, that that once you cooperate, you do what you're told to do, and they put you in cuffs. Usually they talk to you a little bit if you want to answer any of their questions or not. That's up to you. You're supposed to know your Miranda rights. I mean, at least you should know that part. But they've never attacked me. They've never beaten me. They never hit me or anything. The police here are actually pretty calm and collect, as long as you're calm and collect towards them and do what they ask you to do. And if you're already in cuffs, they're not going to beat you or hit you or attack you like the way that they done him. So what makes it extreme in this case is he was already in handcuffs, so that should have been a no-brainer that they didn't have to apply any more force. He was not resisting or fighting back that I could tell or that I know of. So when they had him in cuffs, that was pretty much a good indicator, like, hey, there's nothing in it, there's no more force that needs to be applied. It should have just escorted him to the cop car, helped him get in the cop car, because sometimes those cop cars can be aerodynamic and your head might hit the side of the car as you're trying to get in the car. Heck, I even hit my head sometimes trying to get into my own car. And so trying to get into a car with a pair of handcuffs on is like a little bit harder to do. So, they should have just put him in the car, handcuffed him, or once they had him in handcuffs, they should have put him in the car and then, drove him down to the police station, and then maybe ask him if he wanted to make a formal statement there, whatever they wanted to do, whatever he wanted to do. Something to that effect. No. What made this situation so messed up is, it looks like my phone stand is coming off the pad here. So what made the situation messed up, I guess I'm going to have to hold the phone. Maybe not. Maybe I'm going to have to re-glue the thing back together again. Anyway, I don't know if I can turn it this way or not. So, I don't think I'm going to be able to get it to stand. I think it's come quite off the pad itself. I'm going to have to re-glue this thing back together. Alright. Trying to fiddle-faddle with the camera is not working right. I'm gonna have to do something about this anyway. So I'm not making any progress with it. I am not making any progress with it at all. I may have to put the phone down or something, or change. I think the camera's way too heavy for the thing. Come on now. Alright. I'll try to put it right there so you can at least maybe see what I'm doing and see what I'm saying. At least see my face of some sort. It's fucking bullshit here. So, try to fiddle faddle with the camera and it's still not working. Alright, son of a bitch. So the camera mount just broke. Fucking thing. Have to re-glue that back together too. So anyway, I do look at it as like he was beaten to, and long story short, that they when they did what they did to him with pushing on the back of his neck with their knee, had him pinned to the ground like that. First off, even if a person is fighting back with a vengeance against the police and resisting and being extremely combative, once they got him down on the ground and put him in handcuffs, usually this is general suspects. General suspect is fighting the police. Once they got him in handcuffs, there should be no more fighting to keep him restrained to the ground and stuff like that at that point. What they did is when the one officer put his knee into his neck and kept pressing on the back of his neck, and he started saying, "I can't breathe, I can't breathe, I can't breathe. Help, help, I can't breathe." That should have been a good indicator to say, "Hey, stop this all together. Let's just stop." And then once that got to that point, they should have just stopped, got up, picked him up, carried him to the cop car, put him in the cop car. But like I said way before that, they would have, a normal police investigation, once they get him in cuffs and and they comply, there really is no, at that point, he's in the, like, say if he's in the back of a cop car, and if they did normal procedures like they should have done, really it would have turned out a whole lot better than it did. He wouldn't have been dead. He wouldn't have been injured. Everything would have went pretty smoothly, I guess, as smoothly as it could have went. But unfortunately, the unfortunate part is we all know what happened, and or at least we should know what happened, is that they basically did kill him. And these were not just only white cops. There was like an Asian cop there, or a Hispanic cop, or I'm not sure I think he was a Hispanic. And it doesn't matter about race as far as cops are concerned, because I want to get into another thing that I've watched years ago about a 15-year-old boy that was beaten by black police. Now that's a different story, a different time in our history, but what really upsets me, as I'm going to get to this other part of it, is I know that what they did was wrong and dramatically wrong, and people know that, but at the same time is this kind of stuff does happen every day in our country. It's just not that extreme. It's not that doesn't have a big publicity behind it when it does happen, because it happens in small towns. And the cops don't kill the black people, and sometimes they just beat them up so bad for just little things, thefts, non-violent offenses and stuff. And sometimes it's motivated out of anger. Sometimes it is, a cop is racially motivated to beat the black dude up, or black kid up, or black girl up, or even some of them are not necessarily white that do it. They beat up. There's been black people, cops that have beat up on white people, and so the secondary thing is, it was so bad that they felt like the community felt like it was necessary to riot and attack the police, and bust out some windows in this one police car, and it just got crazy real fast. And so, yeah, the police have the right to retaliate and say, like, no, you're not going to go around busting our windows out of our cars. So that they used non-lethal force to get these people to stop. And it still didn't really help. My thing is, we should have recognized, yeah, it was bad. But that does not mean that we should go out and do violent protest against the community like that, because there was a lot of businesses, small businesses that were in Minneapolis that were just demolished, as far as the windows being busted out and glass being busted out everywhere, and it just looked like a war zone had went through there. Well, these people that live there that are doing the protesting, the violent protest, and that's exactly what it is at that time, they weren't thinking about the fact that small business owners that had nothing to do with this situation were getting they had to shut their doors. They had to rebuild. They had to claim insurances and things on their business, so that they can maybe get their business fixed to where they can maybe, and that's the thing, reopen again. See, these people not really thinking about that stuff. They're always thinking about, like, well, their selfish ambitions and trying to get back at people. The police, for example, over it. And there's been a lot of peaceful protests in the past that has nothing to do with what has happened. Like, say, for the Martin Luther King March, it was a peaceful protest, and no one was killed or injured or hurt in it, and he impacted a lot of lives. And it didn't, terrorize the community when he did what he did. It was exactly what it is a peaceful protest. Now, this here was a non-peaceful protest. There was nothing peaceful about what I had seen on the news, some of the YouTube clips of it. It was just absolute lawlessness. And I just feel like, that the people up there should have been thinking about, well, yeah, it was wrong, but at the same time, you're like, this standard is like, two wrongs doesn't make a right, and that's very true, because what they were doing was wrong as well, by tearing up these businesses and stuff and busting out windows and God only knows what else that they did. And, they're saying, well, Black Lives Matter and stuff, and that's been going on for a long time, seems like, and when they're saying these things, And it's been going on as far as, there's been a lot of things that happened where the police have killed black people, and and Black Lives Matter has been going around for years now. It seems like. So a lot of the history of the things in the past, as far as the Rodney King incident and the riots of '92, I believe. It's all history repeating itself. It really is. And if you look at history about the protests and stuff have happened, where the violent protests and police beat Rodney King, and police in Ferguson, and just various places I don't know a whole lot of details about, but I do know that it's stuff that's happened. It shouldn't have happened, but the way people are reacting to it is, they're being just as belligerent, if not worse, than the people who are actually doing the, the killings or the beatings of the black people, So my reaction to it is, I just try to stay focused on what is important. What's important here is, you have to just stand back and just, as a citizen, stand back and just, acknowledge that it happened. But at the same time is accept the fact that two wrongs don't make a right. We have to learn just to sit back and, and think about, like, how is a productive way to go about doing things, and then not overreacting to it, because you gotta think about other people. These other people in these businesses and stuff that got damaged and stuff, they had nothing to do with the situation. So for them taking their anger out on those places, it's just not productive. It really isn't. Should they have protested? Yes, but in a very peaceful manner. Just do everything in peace. State your opinion, acknowledge your that whether your opinion is right or wrong, and then take care of yourself. Don't let yourself get wrapped up into the drama, because all this rioting and stuff could have easily have not even started over this situation. And and see what else. I don't know a whole lot about, like, his history of what his history was like, and as far as George Floyd is concerned, some people say, well, he was a criminal, and he may have been, a criminal for years. He may have only did some of the things that they said that he did. And they may have documentation to prove that he was a criminal, and what kinds of crimes he did commit. But what I do understand is that he did move up to Minneapolis from Texas, and that he was trying to create a new life for himself. And there's nothing wrong with trying to create a new life for yourself, as long as the new life that you're trying to create is a positive one, and a meaningful one, and that helps yourself as well as helps the community. But at the same time, is what I understand is that there's not a lot of information as far as how is what happened to him justified, and I don't see it as being justified at all. They're saying sometimes that people are lazy, and that black people are lazy and stuff. I don't know whether if he was lazy or not. Like I said, he didn't really have a whole lot of establishment there, far as workplace establishment or lifestyle establishment in the town, because he had just got there. He had recently moved up there, is what they had said. So I don't know what his life was like either down in Texas. And he may have moved up there to Minneapolis because, quite frankly, it is way, way too hot and humid in certain parts of Texas. And there are certain parts of Texas it's just extremely hot and not as humid. But there are humid days and really very hot days up here in Indiana. So up there in the wintertime, it does get a whole lot colder than it does here. And it is relatively nicer up there in Minneapolis. So, I don't know. I'm just, putting some speculation out there. But the point I have to say is this thing, the whole incident, the whole aftermath of it, could have easily been prevented. Now, personally, do I like black people? And the reality is to it that there are certain ones that I like and there are certain ones I don't like. And it all has to do with his personality and what their intentions are and what their motives are. It's like Martin Luther King said, something about, their character. It's, don't judge them about the content of the color of their, or no, it's not the color of their skin, but it's the content of their character, and I believe that's right. It's the content of their character, because there are Asian people, there's white people, there's all kinds of races of people in the world that are diabolical. I don't know if he was really, really diabolical or not. Don't know. But that's my take on the situation. Just let me know what you guys think. It's a pretty sad story. That's for sure. So yeah, I'll get back to what I'm doing here, and get back to business, I guess. Until next time, Clown Underground signing off.